What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode number 5 of the 5 Tool Show with the two Joes. And tonight, before we get started, Joe's going to shout somebody out.
So, man, I wasn't in the hobby for about 20 years. And during the pandemic, I got back into it. I ran across this guy from Midwest Box Breaks. His name is Ben. He runs an amazing community. His Discord, he has over 1,000 people in there. I mean, he does so much for the hobby. I got back into it basically because of him and around some good people. One of my first breaks, I hit this Marco Luciano
Sweet,
PSA
bro.
10 auto.
Wow.
And that really brought me back into the game. Just realizing how much cards are worth now and how much these young dudes cards are going for. So, man, listen, if you want to break, if you're into card breaks, if you just love the hobby, go check out my man Ben, Midwest Box Breaks YouTube channel. You can catch him on Twitter, but a really, really good dude, and definitely a plus for this community because the guy does everything the right way.
Links in the descriptions, guys, for all the shout outs that we do. And speaking of a pioneer in the hobby, or important guy in the hobby, I want to talk a little bit about the Lionel Carter collection. There was a video that Dead Guy Cardboard made, and he has a really great channel. If you guys want to subscribe to an awesome channel regarding old cards, tobacco cards mostly, some non-sports, and really cool 90s inserts, amazing stuff. Check out that channel. He did a video where he used a video that was, I guess, circulating. It was, I think, the company that was selling his cards, like the auction house made a video. And it's pretty cool. This guy was a legend. He was a World War II veteran, perhaps the most important collector in the history of the game. He pulled all the cards himself, starting from back then when he was a kid. He put his sets were all like mint. I mean, it's just crazy. In that video, you see like just stacks of cards, perfect, unbelievable. It's funny. So I was gonna maybe put a little bit of the video on if you want to check the video out. So also, as you can see here, I mean, this is where he had, I mean, these are like, T206s and all these other just unbelievable cards. He mounted them himself in scrapbooks. And he took little, the framings for pictures and like built them. And he was describing in the video how long it took. It was just like, it's really time intensive process to put all the cards in perfectly. I mean, it's just a great video. I don't want to get into it too much because it's just a great thing to see. And anybody want to check it out, I would say go over to Dead Guy Cardboard, and he does a way better job of explaining it to us. But it's just an amazing thing. I just wanted to give props to this amazing pioneer, Joe. You know what I mean?
Also, and the story, obviously stories are great to go along with what he did. I mean, having his wife, the story about him meeting his wife and telling her, hey, listen, if you marry me, I'm going to be collecting cards. And she was like, all right. It was just cool. Like, he was so passionate, even at a young age back then. We're talking about the 50s, like 40s, and collecting back then and being a passionate collector back then. And then later on, as people can watch it, they talk about his cards being stolen from his house, and the auctioneer company actually tracked them down and got, I think, mostly all of them back, and which thankfully that happened. But man, this guy's a legend. He was doing it. Talking about a pioneer, like you said. I mean, he's a pioneer in the game just for doing what people are doing now. We're talking, 50, 60, 70 years ago. It's pretty awesome. They asked him why he never had a Honus Wagner. And he said it cost too much.
Yeah.
Straight honest, even back then was pretty dope to hear him, say funny stuff because, if you think about it, it's the same thing as today, right? You love a car, be like, nah, it costs too much, I'm not buying it. And he didn't have a Honus Wagner. It was even back then, it was too much for his pockets.
The coolest thing about that for me is like, when they ask him about the Honus Wagner, and he's like, thought it was too much money. And he still seemed like it was still too much money. Yeah. He was like, whatever, bro. I don't need that card. Everybody
I don't
wants
care
that
if
card.
It's $2 million or whatever. I got all these other ones, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that dude would rather have that book he made or a PSA 10 of Honus Wagner, which obviously whatever is not, I'm just saying he would take that book over any Honus Wagner card just for the fact, all the time, the effort he put into that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's his childhood book and it's still around. Like, come on, man. Like that's the beauty of the hobby right there.
Yeah, and the sad thing, like you alluded to before, about how he was robbed because the cards were worth so much money, and he couldn't tell. You know, it's kind of sad. He's like, oh, I couldn't really tell anybody about it. I couldn't show it to
Yep.
my neighbors or whatever. You know, it's interesting. Early on in his life, you know, that was a different time. So a woman might say to a man, "You're marrying me? You're going to be still playing with cards? What are you talking about?" You know what I mean? It's not like nowadays guys in their 40s are playing like video games, like whatever. Times have changed a lot. So it's kind of interesting that he did that
in
you
the
know,
50s.
at a time where a lot of people, yeah, like adults maybe didn't want to talk about the fact that they collected.
That was a great thing too, how long it took him to get them into there, right? He said sometimes days, weeks, or whatever he was saying, like it would take him to put so much time into that, you know. But just think of back then to have the foresight to say, I'm gonna open the pack and put these right in this book or whatever else. That's amazing foresight. You know, talking so many years ago to have that, you know, that's amazing.
Another thing that really I liked about his thing was that they said, you know, he put sets together, but for him, it really wasn't about the set. It was about like condition. Like he'd rather not have the set complete than have a garbage card in the set. Think
That's
about
amazing.
like the cards he's doing that with. He's not doing that with some
iconic cards. Yeah.
He's doing that with ridiculous cards. So yeah, it's but anyway, yeah, really cool. Go guys, check that out. Dead Guy Cardboard. We'll put that link in the description as well under. So so Joe, I wanted to talk about you know, trying to find value right now. You see what people spend on newer cards. If you have $1,000 to spend, an average person, you know, I wanted to put up some cards and figure out what would you guys spend it on. Would you spend it on a new card or an old card? And, you know, we'll talk about why most likely the old card is a better bet right now.
But also, is it older dudes in 30s and 40s and 50s that would go for, you know, the Hall of Famers, or the young dudes that say, hey, I'm going to grab a Bobby Witt or a, you know, a Martian, you know, like where are they going? You know, what are you going to do? And if you think about it, it goes back to basically, are you looking for potential or something that's already etched in stone? All right. If you have $1,000, what's that Martian going for right there? A G?
Yep, $1,000, $999. Right. There's also a Passan 10 auto underneath.
So now there's certain people that are like legendary dudes forever, right? So say, you know, you had $1,000 and you wanted to grab one of these, right?
Right. Nice.
Marino auto rookie.
That's ridiculous.
Look, Elway. Yep. Now these are my cards. Now they're not in the greatest condition, obviously, but I'm just saying, if you wanted to go cop PSAs,
wow,
Reggie White,
rookie, beautiful cards.
So my thing is, if you wanted to get these cards in 7s and 8s or whatever else, would you rather have 3 legendary Hall of Famers? And it doesn't have to be football; it could be basketball, baseball, whatever whatever your lane is. Or would you want to say, hey, I'd rather go for the Martian because he's a once in a generation player, and that G right now, you know, in 5 years could be 15 grand. Will these 3 cards ever get to that level? And so I understand what someone would say, but at the end of the day, it's still a crapshoot, right? What's your take on that, Joe?
I mean, like, I think that when the Bowman, you know, you're an undrafted prospect, you're worth nothing, right? You get your first Bowman, your card is here, right?
Yep.
Now, that only goes down unless you're Juan DeFranco, unless you're Jason Dominguez, unless you're somebody that they're just talking about like, yo, this guy is just a monster. You also have to dominate the minors as this happens. Yep. But even still, here's your first. Your second Bowman card, you know, those tween cards, it's not going to be worth as much. Even the auto, the low numbered one. And then your rookie card, baseball, even, if you come out when Wander Franco comes out, his low numbered rookie card, unless it's a superfractor, it's not going to be worth as much as the Bowman firsts. You know what I mean? And you look at the Mike Trout situation with that card, those cards are worth like 50 G's, those autos. Just the regular ones, not even like the fancy, like low numbered parallels of those cards, like the one that Vegas Dave had and he flipped. So everybody's looking for that. They're looking for that. So a guy like a Dominguez, like, I'll buy the Dominguez. I'll buy like a nicer one. I bought like the camo one, a paper one, Bobby Witt, whatever, Passan. I'll buy those, but I'll also buy the base sets, the chrome or the paper. You might spend a couple of $100, same price as a hobby box, guaranteed getting all those rookies. So that's kind of cool. But, you're here, you get that first, you start coming down. As you're coming down, another guy is coming up, like, Vladdy and Wander, or actually here was Vladdy in 2018, and then Wander in 2019, and then Passan in this one, and they're going up and down. So it's kind of weird. Like, you kind of have to build it up again. So you become a rookie in baseball, you get your paper rookie. It's not really worth much, right? And then you got to build it up. This is where I bought the Mookie Betts purple.
Great pickup.
I'm like, all right, this kid's a tremendous player. He's young, he has all the talent in the world, and he looks like he's going to end up in the Hall of Fame if he keeps playing the way he does. Nobody knows. It's baseball. It's so hard, but still. And I bought that card, I think, for like $50 or $60 or $80. I forget. It was under $100.
Man.
And then the card now is probably worth like $400. It's a purple Bowman, his first in a PSA 9. And so I think there are times to buy them. Like, if you can right now, you can pick up guys who have those Bowman first cards, like the Acuna. Not that those really ever went down, but go buy, if you can buy the first paper in a 10, it's $100. It's worth it. But these are just the rarities. These guys are, first of all, we don't know if they're going to be in the Hall of Fame. Ronald Acuna is 23 years old. As great as he's playing right at this moment, we don't know. But
3 years ago,
I like the gambling aspect.
No, so do I. But like 2-3 years ago, you'd have thought Aaron Judge might have been in the Hall of Fame. You don't know what injuries or the way life is. Judge is 28 years old.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Man.
So, I mean, if you'd have told me, 3 years ago, I would have been like, yeah, Judge, he's locked. He's going in, or he's at least going to be 7, 8 time, 9-time All-Star. MVPs. Right. I mean, he's 28. Let's just be real. I mean, and he's always injured. Yeah. So what's the value there? That's another side, the injury side. And that's why when you look at guys like that are in the Hall of Fame that are legends, like Marinos and these guys and all, they're already etched in stone. It's done. It's like, where are they going to only go up? If you think about it, it might not go up this way, but it's going to go up this way, right? I mean, there's just no way around it.
I think I was saying this to you, like I use the analogy. It's like a cardboard real estate.
That's good stuff.
No one's going to touch. This is it. It's a piece of land. Now, if you have the 10, you're on Park Avenue. If you got the 4 or 5, man, you got a little two family in Queens. It's not the worst thing in the world, but you got a piece of the action. So for me, it's like when I see cards, here's the Hoyt Wilhelm rookie. Actually, that one, I would totally buy that card. As bad condition that's in, SGC poor, that's a legendary card. I'd rather buy that than that Jason Dominguez cards. Jason Dominguez, yeah. I mean, the Jason Dominguez may be worth one day $40,000, and this thing might be worth $3,000. It's really a crapshoot.
When we grew up, Greg Jeffries was the Martian. If you really think about it, everybody got Greg Jeffries cards. I still have a stack of them right now because Greg Jeffries was the natural of our time. He was supposed to be phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? And then he had a decent career, but he was never a star. You know what I'm saying? And listen, I'm not saying the Martian ain't going to be a 10-time All-Star. No one knows. The guy has all the talent in the world. But what I'm saying is, like a Dominguez first Bowman blue auto is going for like $5,000. A Devers is going for $1,200. Now, I'm not saying he won't be as good. Listen, Devers had a huge season. Let's just be real. Kid's what, 24?
And he's having another good season now, too.
That's what I'm saying. The dude had a 200 hit season. He had 54 doubles that year. You know what I'm saying? Batted 311, led the league in total bases. I mean, let's just be
Kid's
real.
awesome. He's an awesome player.
He's
He's
an
not
awesome
a fluke.
player.
He's not a fluke.
He's not a few. The kick and hit, I think he'll always be able to hit. And I think he'll end up being close to 300 hitter his career if he stays healthy. I mean, so what I'm saying is you can get the same card, not the same year, obviously, but that same card, 1,200. And this dude's is 5K. I mean, is that just a sign of the times? Is that from this whole, the hobby craze reaching the peak?
Rafael Devers or any of these guys, you know, when their cards, the first cards and they become rookies, it's like a lot of times those first values will come down a lot and everybody's looking for the next kid. So like if Jason Dominguez goes through, you know, A ball, double A, triple A, just dominates and comes into the major leagues and continues to dominate, those cards will just be going nuts. But no one's ever done that. Not even Mike Trout. You know, like there wasn't this hype around the Bowman first when Mike Trout was a rookie. As a matter of fact, Mike Trout was drafted, I think, 25th. And or whatever it was. It was definitely like a high number. And Mike Trout, it's like, you know, he came in, he didn't have a good season. Joe Adell didn't have a good season. Right now, you can pick up Joe Adell's first for low because everyone's Joe Adell, he came up in the pandemic season and he didn't play well. And now he's in AAA again. You know what? Joe Adell made beast in AAA come up and just hit. You don't know. Nito's killing it right now. You don't know what's going on. Baseball's crazy.
That's the point. It's the same thing with Dominguez. It's the same thing with this Luciano. I mean, right? Let's just be real. He hasn't played a game yet either.
At this point, I think you're right. I mean, the hobby's crazy. I mean, think about it. In like, say, in 2012, say, you know, were people paying absurd amounts of money for Pujols, like Bowman rookies, the refractors? I don't think so. Maybe like $1,000. Now they're like 50 grand they're trying to get for those, you know? Like the 2001 Bowman draft with Ichiro and Pujols. You know, even the base in Gem Mint now is like $1,500, $2,000. Those cards were really cheap even a few years back. So for me, it's kind of like, you know, there's a Pujols 2001 Bowman Heritage. You can see it on there. It's $1,000. If I had to make the choice right now, I'm buying that instead of you know, the Dominguez like graded one. I have a few Dominguez though.
But you've been telling me for the past few months about the guys. You know, you always talk about Pujols is that guy you feel is going to get a big jump. Yeah. You know, Ichiro as well. I mean, you have been preaching those two. That you'll probably see a big jump in. I agree. I mean, the price of, you know, a Bowman Chrome hobby box, you can get three Barry Bonds rookie PSA 9. Wow.
You know what I mean? You can get this is the same cost as a modern, you know, not a Chrome box, say $200. I'm looking at I just copped the Joe Montana rookie for like $200. PSA 5, better than a bunch of the PSA 6s that were on the market at the time. And I'm just looking at it like, you know, in 10 years, that might be like the Gretzky rookie.
I saw that card you got. I can't wait for you to show it to us. Maybe hopefully on the next episode you'll have it. But bro, that card is, I'll tell you what, if it was an older graded card, that's a 7. No doubt about it. We'll show the viewers next week. Hopefully we'll have it, but that's a beautiful card you got. This is a childhood card. And what's so cool about it is my buddy, his dad works at CBS. So we were talking one day and he's like, yo, why don't you give me this card? I'll have my dad. He works with Dan Marino. So I gave him the card. He worked with Dan Marino. He gave it to Dan. Dan gave it to him and they sent it back to me in this case. And that was it. But like, you know, something like this, I don't even care if it's graded. Because you know what, to me, it's a childhood card that I got signed by Dan Marino. I mean, I'm good, right? Like what that to me.
You're never going to sell that. So what's the need? You got to pay some dude at PSA to tell you what you already know. That
I know
real.
There's nothing you could do. I don't need anyone because I'm not selling it. Exactly. So why am I? If I can get it graded, just to have it graded down the road. But for me, I'm just good enough to say it was a childhood card. It's probably a 6 at best, which I'm cool with. But the auto is the auto, and it's beautiful. It's just like, you know, and that's the hobby. And you know what's funny? I got this signed when I wasn't even really collecting. I was living in LA, and this is probably like 2010. So it was just cool that I was doing this. That's why when you always say I didn't collect for 20 years, you really did. Let's just be real, because your mind is always involved. Even if you didn't buy packs or like, go on eBay and cop. Your mind was still in
you
the
just
hobby.
weren't obsessed for 20 years.
Obsessed. Exactly. I dabbled here and there. I just wasn't, I wasn't going through my cards every day or doing the same thing I was doing when I was 12 or 13 or 14. But yeah, your mind is always stuck in the hobby. That's true. I got some pickups I got to show you, man.
Yeah, let's do some pickups, man. Show me some pickups, bro.
I got a few. First off.
Oh, wow. So dope. Those are nice. Nicely scented too.
Nicely, yeah. And they're like fresh out of the pack. I love this one, bro, with Miss Elizabeth. I mean, come on, bro.
So legendary.
And then I picked this up early this week. Another Matchroom. This is a 91. This is a little older one, but I just love the card, man.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's a beautiful card. But here's one I haven't showed you all week, and I said I'm gonna wait for the show. Donnie Baseball Columbus Clippers.
Yeah.
In a Freudian old school ill throwback. I don't even know what that is. It looks like a 30 with a pillbox hat.
So, dude.
And if you look on the back, bro. Donald, bro.
Donald Arthur Mattingly.
He's on some fresh. Donald. He wasn't even Don yet, bro. He was on some Donald Mattingly.
Yo, that's a beautiful
I've
card,
never
bro.
seen
that's
this card.
A really, really awesome card.
Yeah, it's a super rare card. I haven't seen, they have them, but like I searched around and I found, this one is, the guy said it was like gem mint and he didn't lie. I got it off eBay. There was a few that were like, like a few bucks less, but this one, man, it's just really,
that's a beautiful card.
It's a great card. And what came along with it too was this, which I never seen before. It's an Arby's card of Don.
Wow. That is cool. Yeah, Arby's, that's another third party.
Yep.
Never seen that, man.
Never seen. I've tracked Mattingly cards since a kid. I've never seen this Arby's card of Mattingly. Yeah, I was like,
so
I can't.
Nice,
I said I had to wait to get on the show to show that 12 cards of this even graded, and I think there's no 10s or no 9, and there's only 9s of this. So it's a pretty rare card in terms of grading wise. I knew you'd enjoy that one.
Those are dope cards, bro. I love that. I love to see. Anytime I see a card that I've never seen before, especially a Don Mattingly, I love that. It's like intriguing. It's like, wow, where are the rest of these cards? I've never seen that before. I never even knew about that card.
No, me neither.
Wow. 91 upper deck set, and actually was really lucky. Look at how crispy that Brett Favre rookie is. Like that's really centered so well.
Like that's a nice card.
At the back, even the back's crazy, but like look at how perfectly centered that is.
That's a beautiful card.
That's like minimum 9,
Yeah, minimum 9.
That's
a great card.
Yeah, it's a good card. It's like I went to the spot. I actually bought a new one today because they have a bunch of these, like 20 of these. And every time like I go and I'm like, there's nothing to buy. I'll buy another one. It's $10. There's a Brett Favre rookie in there. And this is like the third or fourth time. And every time I did it, it's like not scented well at all. Like totally badly scented. And especially there's also his base rookie is in there too. That's the one that they pay more for. But there's another one in there. And that one I can never get it. So hopefully in this one, I'm trying to get that one scented well. And you never know. Here, let me show you another card. This is a card that, all right, we were talking about this 91 Topps. We were talking about 91 Topps hockey, the Yager. This isn't a 10, but it got to be a 9. I don't know why it's not a 10. It's just, but like, it's pretty nice though, right? It's like really centered pretty well.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right. Like it's really, I know it's not perfect. It's a little bit off, but
it's crisp though.
I'm pretty sure this is Yager's first card, his first Topps card, not his first card. He has a bunch of cards before that.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that's Yager's first Topps card. And, he unfortunately, I said this in one of my other videos from my other channel about like how I feel like Topps fell off with rookie cards in the 90s, especially they just were just like, whatever. I don't know why they did that, but it's just weird. Bowman took over with the rookie card department and Topps just, they put you on like they'd make a big deal about like they just wouldn't do it. They just have like the prospect card, like not the prospect cards, but like the combo rookies, which are cool.
Yeah.
But it was just like a second thought. Like, David Ortiz, he doesn't really have a real rookie card.
Yeah, that's
CC
crazy.
Sabathia does, but it's in traded. A lot of these guys like Scott Rowland, and I'm pretty sure a lot of these, like Vladimir Guerrero, he doesn't have a Topps rookie card. He has the Bowman because Topps is just like, we'll put him on this like, upcoming prospects or whatever. And it's just
like the Morneau and Mauer joint. They're on it together.
That's an awesome card.
Yeah, that's a great
2000 card. Was it 2003? 2003.
3.
Yeah, that's a cool. I have that card.
That's a
not
nice
in great
card.
condition, but two great players. And
yeah, me neither. Mine's not in good condition, but it's a great card. Because who would have thought? Usually prospect cards, what happens? There's one guy on it that's good, and then the other guys you never heard from. But to have 2 stars on the card is pretty cool. What's your quarter classic tonight, bro?
Oh, I'll show you my quarter class. I mean, this is like the reason why it's a quarter. The card would have probably been like $5, but it's Marvin Grissom, 56 Topps. And the reason I bought this card is just because if you see the background, like you can see Comiskey Park. Like that's.
Man.
I mean, I'm sorry. Polo Grounds.
There
was another one I got with Comiskey Park in the background, just beautiful. But just like
that backdrop.
You see why? Because somebody put this up on a wall or whatever.
Oh,
this card was like probably 50 cents or $1, whatever it was.
All right, mine is the reason why this is my quarter classic is because Art Howe is rocking the freshest.
Bro.
This Astros jacket.
That is an awesome card.
This dude, listen,
that's awesome, man.
I was like 81 Fleers anyway. I mean, it was just a cool
great set with the baseball
right?
in the corner.
Baseball,
I love that.
Yeah, I loved it. And the back.
So
I don't know.
dope.
Something about the back always reminds me of my childhood. I don't know. Just that back is just
so nice.
Yeah. But
that's a
jacket,
great card, man. That's a great card.
Art Howe was a good player, man.
Yeah, dude, those old Astros uniforms, I thought those were cool. I always thought like the craziest ones too, like the rainbow one.
Yeah,
like you'd never
just
think,
legendary.
Like, it's a baseball uniform with a rainbow on it, but somehow, to me, I thought it was cool. I thought it worked. A lot of people didn't like it.
It's funny. I don't think they were appreciated when they were rocking, but like now, they're like the iconic jerseys. Those brown and yellow Padres, the Expos, the powder blues, and even those funky Cubs jerseys when they had the pinstripes, the powder blue. Buckner had them on with the pinstripes. Like,
awesome.
Back then they were like, what the hell are you doing? But if you look at them now, they were so advanced, like so ahead of the time, having a pullover. Like, that's genius. Like, they like pullover jerseys and those 80s, late 70s, 80s jerseys. Yeah, I mean, but that's the same thing with cars, though, I feel like. You look back now and maybe back then you didn't think the cards were dope. And then you look at them now and you're like, these things were like iconic the way they made these cards. You know what I'm saying? There's certain sets that like, even this set, like with the Merino and the Elway, like, I don't know, something about this set. I always love this set, right? But doesn't the back remind you of like the 50s and 60s? Like the back looks very old school. Like they have the little guy here with the little notes and stuff. It has a very throwback appeal for, So yeah, man, like certain cards, certain eras of cards, I think they were just way ahead of the time in terms of that.
The back of these cards, the backs of these cards from the 1950s and 60s and 70s and the 80s, even sometimes into the 90s, are absolute works of art. I mean, look at the back of this card, though. I mean, that's ornate. That's just beautiful,
Yeah, but see, that's what's changed so much, and I don't think you appreciate that. That's what I'm saying. In the certain eras, you just thought it was a norm, and then you got into times where we look at now and say, man, I wish the back of my card was. All right, so question I have before we go and we get out of here, we talked about this earlier, $1,000, but forget the price. Right now, if you had a Reggie White PSA 6 rookie, Dan Marino PSA 7, Elway PSA 7 in front of you, somebody handed it to you, and the other guy handed you Jason Dominguez PSA 10, Bowman, all equal kind of to the same price right now, current price. Where's your hand going? To the OGs or to Dominguez?
I'm taking the legends all day. Even if you're looking at this from, a potential investment situation, it's like, here are your blue chips. Here's this cool startup that might be great, but it might be out of business soon. You know, it's like we talked about how like it's similar to poker in a way, like getting your money in with the best of it. And to me, getting those cards is getting your money in with the best of it. It's a better bet. It's a smarter bet. And you know, Jason Dominguez is like, you know, ace deuce suited. You know, you're sitting on the button, you're good. But you talk about made cards now. You talk about guys who are in the Hall of Fame. They're made. That's it. No one's taking them out.